5 a.m. The crash comes out of nowhere. Glass shatters like a bomb in the dead silence of the morning. I wake up instantly, Marine training kicking in, ready for anything, but this isn't Baghdad. This is suburban Phoenix. And someone's just declared war on my driveway. I peek through my blinds and my blood boils. There she is, Vivian Blackwood, our precious HOA president, going full psychopath on my buddy Connor's F350 with a crowbar. She's in her designer workout clothes. Diamond tennis bracelet glinting in the streetlight, taking swing after swing. Crash after crash, $8,000 in damage and counting. And the audacity. She pauses between blows to check her manicure, like she's having a spa day instead of wrecking someone's truck. What she doesn't know is that my security cameras are rolling. I've got the whole thing on film. And Connor, he's not just some blue-collar vet she can push around. When she finds out what his day job really is, that Botox smile of hers is going to crack faster than her victims' windshields. What would you do if some power-drunk lunatic destroyed your guest's property? Drop a comment with where you're watching from. Bet your HOA's got some psychos too. But let me rewind 6 months to explain how I got here. Name's Garrett Thornfield, 52, divorced Purple Heart recipient. After losing half my assets in the divorce, this modest ranch was all I could afford. 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, and apparently a front row seat to watch democracy die under a designer handbag. The morning air here smells like creosote and broken dreams, with that fresh asphalt scent baking under the Arizona sun. Every day, it's the same. Leaf blowers loud enough to wake the dead, because apparently even the desert isn't allowed to look natural. 847 identical homes, all sporting mandatory desert landscaping that looks like someone sneezed cacti across expensive gravel. Connor's my Marine buddy from Iraq. We served 2 tours together, came home with matching invisible scars. He drives in from Phoenix once a month for our PTSD support group meetings. Good man. Quiet. Always brings coffee that doesn't taste like motor oil. His F350 is his pride and joy. Pristine white paint, veteran plates, not a scratch on her. Well, wasn't. Then came Vivian Blackwood, the she-devil in Prada, who ruled our little slice of suburban purgatory. She's 48, a real estate agent, married to a plastic surgeon, which explains why her face barely moves. Lives in a mansion that probably costs more than most people's lifetimes and treats the whole neighborhood like her personal boot camp. She drives a white Tesla Model X and has been HOA president for 3 terms. Nobody runs against her because, frankly, who wants to volunteer for that kind of torture? My first taste of her special brand of freedom crushing came 3 months after I moved in. I put up an American flag on my front porch. Standard 3x5, nothing fancy. The next day, a bright yellow violation notice appeared under my windshield wiper like some kind of legal disease. Unapproved flag placement. Fine $300. I called the HOA office thinking it was a mistake. Wrong. Flags must be mounted on regulation poles at specific angles, the secretary told me in that special tone people reserve for the particularly dense. Approved by the architectural committee, she said. Who's on this committee, I asked. Mrs. Blackwood, she said. Just Vivian. The architectural committee was literally one person with a God complex. That should have been my warning. Walking into that first board meeting felt like something out of a dystopian nightmare. The community center smelled like industrial carpet cleaner and crushed souls. 5 board members sat behind a folding table like they were judging war crimes, not homeowner complaints. I presented my case politely. Purple Heart veteran, served my country, just want to display the flag with respect. The vote 4-1 against me. Vivian's cronies didn't even look up from their phones. And when I asked for a reason, Vivian, with that plastic smile, said, "Perhaps you should have read the CC&Rs more carefully before purchasing." Connor was visiting that week. He saw the whole flag fiasco, and being the stand-up guy he is, he parked his truck in the guest spot and stayed 4 days helping me file an appeal. That's when Vivian struck again. Commercial vehicle restriction, she said, slapping us with a $500 fine. Connor's F350 was clearly personal use. Camping gear in the back, veteran plates, family photos on the dashboard. But to Vivian, any pickup truck that made her Tesla look inadequate was commercial. Connor just shook his head. It's not worth the fight, Garrett. I'll pay it. Watching this good man who'd bled for our freedom hand over $500 to a suburban dictator made my blood boil. But I had no idea this was just the opening salvo in a war I didn't even know I was fighting. 2 weeks later, Connor came back for our monthly meeting. I was starting to think maybe Vivian had gotten her petty power fix and would leave us alone. Yeah, right. I should have known better than to underestimate a sociopath with a Home Depot credit card. Connor parked legally in the guest spot. We had a good session, and then 5 a.m. rolled around. Glass exploded like grenades. Connor's truck was getting the crowbar treatment. But here's where things get interesting. As I'm standing there in my boxers watching $8,000 of destruction through the window, Connor just calmly walks beside me like he's watching the morning weather report, not his pride and joy getting demolished. "You getting this on camera?" He asks, his voice as steady as a surgeon's hand. Then he pulls out his phone, starts recording from a different angle. Most people would be screaming, calling 911, running outside to stop the carnage. Not Connor. This man has ice water in his veins and a mind that thinks 3 moves ahead while you're still figuring out how the pieces move. I learned to trust those instincts in Fallujah, and I wasn't about to stop. Vivian finishes her vandalism symphony. Windows spiderweb into abstract art tires, deflate like punctured egos, and then the pièce de résistance military trash carved into the tailgate. The smell of broken glass and burnt rubber lingers in the morning air as she surveys her handiwork with the satisfaction of a Picasso finishing Guernica. Then she does something that makes my blood freeze. She walks over to the Hendersons' house next door and hands $20 to their teenage son, Tyler. Kid pockets it faster than a politician takes a bribe. Vivian points at Connor's truck, makes some hand gestures, then vanishes into the pre-dawn darkness, like the suburban vampire she is. She just bought herself a witness. She's planning on making this kid lie for her? Connor observes, still recording. I'm getting my lawyer involved. 20 minutes later, Phoenix PD shows up, and there she is in her designer jogging outfit, looking like a soap opera actress about to cry. I was on my morning run when that truck nearly ran me down, she says, pointing at Connor like he's the one who attacked her. Tyler Henderson steps forward, delivering his lines like a high school drama club understudy. Yeah, I totally saw everything from my bedroom window. The truck was driving crazy. The cops eye Connor looking like he's public enemy number 1. Here's this big guy, tattoos everywhere, standing next to a demolished truck wearing yesterday's clothes. The optics aren't exactly screaming innocent victim. That's when I step forward with my phone. Officers, before you do anything irreversible, you might want to see this little home movie I accidentally filmed. I show them the security footage, crystal clear 4K of Vivian committing felony vandalism. It's time-stamped 5:03 a.m., exactly when she claimed to be jogging and nearly getting murdered by a parked truck. You want to explain how you were nearly run down by a parked truck, the older cop asks her, his expression one of disgust. Vivian's face twists from shock to panic. That camera angle is totally misleading, she stammers. I was defending myself from future aggressive behavior. She's arrested faster than you can say felony destruction of property. But here's where the fun begins. While Vivian's getting acquainted with the backseat of a police cruiser, I'm working my phone like a campaign manager. First call. Arizona Department of Real Estate. Turns out filing false police reports doesn't exactly go well with keeping your real estate license. The second call. Every local news station. HOA. President arrested for vandalizing veteran's truck. That's the kind of David versus Goliath story that makes producers salivate. That night, Connor and I grill steaks, drinking beers, and feeling like the weight of the world's been lifted off our shoulders. But just when you think the story's over, Vivian's revenge begins. Violation notices start showing up every day. 7 violations across my front door. Same for half the neighborhood. Vivian's turned petty tyranny into a full-on harassment campaign. But I don't back down. I get to work with the neighbors, collecting evidence, and soon we're uncovering something much bigger. Vivian's not just a petty HOA president, she's part of a criminal enterprise running racketeering schemes across the state. Federal investigations, kickbacks, bribes, fraud. It all leads back to Vivian and her criminal network. And so we fight. We expose it. Federal prosecutors descend. Vivian's world crumbles like a house of cards. Federal arrests, investigations, all of it uncovered. And in the end, justice prevails. Vivian's arrested, the neighborhood is free, Connor gets a promotion, and me, I get my piece. The pool finally opens, and it's not just a symbol of our neighborhood, it's a symbol of victory. No more HOA corruption. Sometimes the good guys win. But let's ask, how far is too far when it comes to power? Where's the line between justice and revenge? What do you think? Leave a comment, share your thoughts, and if you've ever been through something like this, tell your story. The fight's just getting started.
Cảm ơn các bạn đã xem video. Cảm ơn các bạn đã xem video.